We are sponsored by Soho Bistro and Lounge.
Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Talk About It with Sam, where we discuss today's current events, life, health, wealth, and lifestyle. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more content. We have so much more to come. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Talk About It with Sam. Today, I am going to be interviewing my new friend, Shelley, who is an entrepreneur and wears multiple hats. Shelley is going to discuss all of her different roles, but really today what we're going to do is dig really deep into balance and how to really balance and maintain a healthy lifestyle while being a mom and trying to support your business while raising your kids. Hi, Shelley. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, me too. All right, Shelley, can you tell us a little about yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I am Shelley Mache. I am a certified life purpose and confidence coach, a best-selling author, and mom life strategist. And what I love and what is my absolute passion is really being able to show moms how to successfully balance that work and life world that we have and not leave you behind. So showing you really how to balance life goals and purpose and a mom life so that you don't lose your identity in motherhood, because I don't know about you, but I've been guilty of that, like putting every single thing into others, into my family, into my titles, into roles, and I completely lost who I was just as an individual and as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad to have this conversation because I feel like as a mom, we all feel that sometimes, right? That,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of having a partner or not, I feel like moms just tend to become the default parent. And I kind of think that
Yes.
that's no fault of anyone's. It's just something that happens. But
Mm-hmm.
people don't truly understand how stressful it can be just trying to balance getting a shower in while you're trying to raise a baby.
Yes, right. And that is the truth. Just being able to get up and say, "Oh, okay, you have a list of things that you would like to get done or you think you're going to get done." And then, you find your 2-year-old running naked through the house. You find that, your 7-year-old has decided to create art on the wall. You smell dinner burning. You forget that no one has laundry, that's done, and you haven't done one thing for yourself. You wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, you have a full day, you end up relaxing at 9 and 10 o'clock, and by the time you go to bed, there's been no time to refuel, to pour into you before you lay down and start it all over again. And if you happen to be a stay-at-home mom, you've had conversations, with minors all day long.
Yep.
Where's the adult conversation? I remember being a stay-at-home mom. I just longed for just some adult conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we started the podcast, you said something to me that was absolutely beautiful. And it's something that I would really like to talk about. But you mentioned giving grace and
Yes.
allowing us ourselves grace because we
Yes.
find ourselves in those chaotic moments. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about you, but so many times I would find myself finally resting, finally relaxing at 9:30, knowing that my house was put together, everybody ate, I did everything I was supposed to, I worked my full-time job. And then I would find myself thinking about things that I could have done better and how
Mm.
I should have and how I should have been more timely, or you know what, I could have did one more load of laundry, or you know what, I could have got my son bed to I could have got my son to bed a little bit
Mm-hmm.
earlier. I could have read one more story instead of giving myself grace for just
Yes.
making it today.
Yes. And
So,
then and how did that make you feel after everything that you had done all day, and when you got in the bed and you rolled it over in your mind of everything that you couldn't do, didn't do, tried to do, didn't balance, couldn't put together? How did that make you feel going to bed?
sad and discouraged.
Absolutely sad and discouraged. But when we come to our end of the day, which is something that I love to do, when I get to the end of the day, I love to thank myself for something. Instead of me saying, man, I couldn't get the baby to go to sleep, or I couldn't get the baby to breastfeed, or I had a hard time, or I went off on the kids, during homework. Instead of that, I love to be able to look back over my day, which is what I tell my clients, to look back over your day and thank yourself for something. What's one thing that you can thank yourself for? Okay, maybe I didn't get the kids in bed at 9 the way I wanted to, but I was able to sit down and have a family dinner, which is so much more important for me and my priorities than getting you to bed exactly at 9 o'clock. So thank you so much, Shelly, for being able to sit with your family and create that dynamic for your family where you guys were able to sit down together. I know you wasn't able to get the baby, in the bed at the time that you wanted to, but how nice did it feel to sit down with your family and just enjoy those moments of being able to eat a meal together? Thank you for providing that opportunity for your family. And it's a memory that's going to hold dear for you for probably the rest of your life. I can go to bed easy now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's so important because at the
Hmm.
end of the day, those moments with your family mean more than anything. Like you said, it
Yes.
doesn't matter how messy the house is, it doesn't matter how much laundry doesn't get done. Your kids want to see you. And
Yes.
that's the foundation of the home, is being able to raise your children, is being able to really
Hmm.
prioritize what's important and kind of just leaving the mess aside and just
Yes.
figuring it out as you go.
But
Um,
that's the great thing. That's the grace about it. I know for me at one point, just being able to get a 10-minute bath was golden. So that was golden for me. And so for me to be able to thank myself and go, wow, you haven't had a chance to just take a bath, because my little one was very attached to me. And so and she's the one who I stayed home with the longest. And so when I would go take a bath or just go to the bathroom, you guys, when I just go to the bathroom, I would feel so bad because her little fingers would be under the door and she
mhm.
would literally sit outside of the door and wait for me to come outside. And so even going to take a bath made me feel so bad because her
Yeah.
fingers were under the door. And so to be able to take a bath, and to have my husband take over or do a little activity so that I didn't feel like I was abandoning her. Now, of course, I know I wasn't abandoning her, but the guilt that we replay in our head, that you feel sad to go take a bath, it's just when we think about that, it's like, come on now. But the idea to be able to just take a bath without rushing so that I didn't, jump out so that I could go straight to her. So for me, that was a thankful moment. Like, oh my gosh, you took a bath, you didn't feel guilty, the baby was fine, and you
Mhm.
were able to create a small amount of balance with a 10-minute bath of just relaxation. That's golden for us sometimes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think what people don't understand too is that that 5 minutes of like disassociation creates a much better next day. When you
Yes.
have 5 minutes to yourself to recuperate, when you actually have 10, 15 minutes to take that bath and to be alone and to sit
Yes.
with your own thoughts and to say, wow, I did do something for myself, how important that is for us.
Mm-hmm.
And how we're able to strategize balance in those brief moments. Because even
Yes.
though you and I both know, even though we're in the tub for 10 to 15 minutes getting our us time, we're really thinking about tomorrow. And
And no, you went ahead. We're thinking about what we have to clean up tonight.
it's not even really, it's still not about us. Like
Right. So
it's a
much, so
beautiful
much of it is
time.
still about somebody else. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like, but even just taking that time and being able to create that mental balance and to be able to have those thoughts without somebody else talking to you or calling your name or pulling on your leg
Mm-hmm.
is so important. And
Yes.
I think that that brings us to our next topic, which really is balance and
Yeah.
preparation and how important that is in a chaotic home and how it can turn a chaotic home into a beautiful chaotic home, because you're always
Yes.
going to have chaos, right? So I think that that's something that's very
Always.
important too, is that people think that we talk a lot on the show about preparation and balance and how well it can like help like strategize things and how it can help
Mm-hmm.
really kind of like make things seem seamless, but there's always going to be chaos. That's just the way
Always.
life is. Things
Absolutely.
happen, but
Absolutely.
we can take out the unorganized chaos of it. We can
Mm-hmm.
kind of prepare in ways that if we do have super chaotic days, we have some things that are already figured out. So we're already
Yes.
at least 3 steps ahead. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so what are some ways that you balance your life between working, being a mom,
Mhm.
doing self-care? Like, what are some tips that you can share with us?
Yeah, that's so funny that you would say that because when we think about balance, we look at balance in a way where number one, we really think the idea of balance brings peace, and that's really a big myth, because a lot of times when we think about balance and the idea of balance is supposed to make us feel a little more at ease, but really the truth is it doesn't. The truth is
Mhm.
that when we're thinking about balance, we're thinking at it from most of the time a negative standpoint of, and why is it that I have to balance? I have to balance because it's chaotic. I have to balance because I feel out of control. I have to balance because nothing gets done. And so when we think about balance, something that's supposed to bring calm to our lives brings uncertainty. It brings overwhelm. And so the first thing that I needed to understand is that I had to change my mindset of what balance meant to me. And that meant changing the idea of balance. And so balance to me became an opportunity to be able to harmonize and bring peace to my day with structured activities. So
Yep.
balance wasn't about me trying to catch up anymore. Balance wasn't about me trying to make sure if this get done, this get. Balance was really about how can I harmonize and bring peace to my day through my structured activity. And
Mhm.
when I thought about it that way, it wasn't as overwhelming. And so the first thing that I would say to any mom out there is let's restructure how we think of balance. Instead of looking at balance in what you couldn't do because you don't have time to do because you couldn't make happen, let's redo it. How can I harmonize my day today? How can I bring peace to my day with the activities that I have today? And when you get ready to add something else, does that harmonize your day? Is that helping to organize your day to bring peace? And if it's not, maybe it's not something that you should be adding to your day. Now,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. None of our days are going to go 100% the way we wanted to. Somebody's going to end up sick. It's a vet appointment that we forgot about. Someone has an emergency. But for the most part, the part that we can control, the idea should be, am I bringing harmony and peace through structured activities today? Keyword,
Wow.
structured.
Wow, that was very powerful. That was extremely powerful because structure makes the world a difference, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And so we need to be able to have that. We need to understand what our day looks like because if we
Mhm.
don't have, and I know this has worked miracles for me, just being able to lay out my day the night before. We have daily lists, we have weekly lists, we have monthly, lists and goals. For me, a week ahead was too much. So for me, I needed to know, what am I doing tomorrow? What's
Mhm.
on my plate for tomorrow? What are my top three priorities? Just the top three. Maybe the laundry won't get done. Maybe grocery shopping won't get done. But what are the top three priorities? And if I'm able to hit one of those priorities, I've done well. I've done well. And I can give myself grace for the other two. And so that's one of the things that I had to learn. I'm a list person. So it was never that difficult for me. But what I realize is that I bring more peace to my day when I'm more structured with my activities. And so I don't have to compete and fight for the balance because I'm more concerned about the harmony.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I That was beautifully said. So my structure I call routine.
Yes.
So I am very routine oriented. I am just a routine person, and it helps me to be able to prepare. So
Yes.
that's kind of how I structure my day, is
Mm-hmm.
based off my routines and how I prepared the day before. Um and I think that a lot of things that have helped me kind of calm down my chaotic life are things like meal preparation. So
Oh,
meal
yes.
prepping,
Yes. Yes.
I like to meal prep anywhere from 1 to 3 days ahead of time, as well as kind of like lay out the clothes for the week. So when my son was younger, what I would do is I had bins, and it was Monday through Friday. So right down to the socks, underwears, and t-shirts.
Yes.
Yes, outfits all set for the entire week. All you have to do is wake up, know what day it is, and
And
your stuff is
grab
ready
it.
to
I
go.
love it.
And
I
it's like,
love
oh,
it.
it's a way to keep organized. It's a way to make the morning's really more too about the kids. So it's not so much yelling and screaming, constant chaos, everybody's
Yes.
running around. No, we talked about this last night. This was our plan. We prepared.
Yes.
And now when we wake up, this is what we're going to
This
do
is what
because
it
we have
is.
routine.
Absolutely.
And it just makes the world difference. And it's very
Mm-hmm.
important, I think, too, for people to hear that, you know, you're not alone because it's all trial and error. I went through
Mm-hmm.
like a super rough year and a half before I was like, okay, this isn't working. Like this
Yeah.
isn't going well. I need to figure this out. My son was probably about 5, 6 when I was like, all right, you know what? We're gonna start having structured days. And I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
out and I'm gonna get some stuff and and he did that up until middle school. I mean, it worked phenomenally. So I don't want people
Yeah.
to hear things like that and think like, oh, well, my life is crazy. Like I don't do things like that. It's like nobody does. Nobody does.
Mm-hmm.
It never starts off that way. You have to
Right.
have trial and error first. You
Yes.
have to run through rough patches so that you can fully understand where you went wrong, the errors that you made, and how you can correct them. So when people
Yes.
hear this, I want them to know that, you know, if your life is super chaotic, if you're having very stressful days, if you don't really understand preparation, reach out and talk to somebody. That's what specialists like us are for. Like
Mm-hmm.
I also
Mm-hmm.
specialize in health and wellness and life coaching, and
Yes.
it's not something that's learned overnight. Like not everybody
Right.
understands how to meal prep, and not everybody understands how preparation can make or break an entire week. And of course, myself,
Yes.
I can't always live by everything that I preach. So there are days that I'm not prepped. There are days, like I said, that are still chaotic. But because I
Mm-hmm.
know that I was prepped yesterday, I got so much done yesterday. It's okay that today is so chaotic. It's not
Right.
going to
I
trickle
could
into
give
that
more grace.
Exactly, exactly. And it's
Yes.
not going to trickle into tomorrow and become a bad habit. Um, so I just like to always reiterate that because I think
Mm-hmm.
that with you and I, like already having kids and having families, we have so much experience with it that other people might hear it and think, oh, well, you know, like this, I'm really in a messy situation. We were too.
Absolutely.
Like
But
we,
you said something that was so key about trial and error, because that's another myth when it comes to balance, is that balance is natural. You know, you just naturally know how to do this. And that's just not true. You don't just naturally know. And if you do, hey, kudos to you. Amazing. I wasn't that one. But because again, because I like lists, I like to see things, you know, I like my own reward system and checking things off. But balance really is a learned skill. And it's really
absolutely.
learned by us understanding what our day looks like, by us understanding our bandwidth. We have a 100% bandwidth, and we always like to put 200 into that 100, which is why we become so frustrated. And, you know, because we're trying to do more than what we were created to. And when you understand your bandwidth, when you understand your day, your life season, when you understand how to prepare, how to break things down, when you understand, you know, your time management a little bit better, these are things that help in the balancing. These are things that we learn. And so, like you said, if there's a mom out there who's feeling like, okay, well, you know, you guys have this mastered, I have things mastered for my life, you know, and
Yep.
how my life runs. I don't have it mastered for how Sam runs her life. I'd be in there going crazy because hers
Yeah.
is structured. You know, I think we always need to understand that, because as moms, we're constantly looking at somebody else saying, well, you can do this and you can do that. Well, that's that person's life season. That's that person's day. That's how their day runs. My day runs completely different. So when I'm able to understand my own bandwidth, the priorities in my own life, in my own family, what life season am I in? What type of mom am I? Am I a stay-at-home mom? Am I a part-time, you know, outside of the home working mom? Am I a married mom? Am I a single mom? All of these things we take into account when we're talking about balance. So if you're out there going, oh, well, things are so chaotic for me, that's okay. This is learned. This is learned by you understanding those things. What is my schedule? What's my mom type? You know, what is my current life season? What works well for me? And if it is error, it's okay. It's
Right.
okay.
Absolutely.
Trial and error. And it gets you to that point of where you can run your life, your day more sufficiently for yourself. And where you can, what I like to say is harmonize your goals, self-fulfillment, motherhood, career, to harmonize it better we'll never be 100% at everything. We need to kick that out of, out of our mind. We believe that if we create balance, then we create perfection. Lies, lies.
Yep.
You create a better harmony for your life, but nothing's ever going to be perfect. And we need to get rid of that idea that it is.
I love that so much. This is such a great conversation. And I really think that being really raw and transparent is so important so that everybody understands that we really are just all human, just trying our best. Um,
Yes.
and like you said, as far as like the balance, like that is an untaught skill that you have to learn on your own because everyone's looks different. And the same
Right.
thing goes with multitasking. Like moms have a natural ability to multitask
Hmm.
because we're almost forced into a role that requires it. So
Yes.
we have this natural ability to just multitask. But
Hmm.
that looks different for everyone.
For
I might
everyone.
I might multitask in a very structured way. Like I can handle 5 or 6 things at a time, but they have to go a certain way. Where another mom can multitask 5 or 6 things a completely different way, and everything can be in chaos, but she's
Yes.
still doing it. It doesn't always have to look the same, but everything is a taught skill, and it really just depends on what works for you and how it works in your house.
Yes.
Um, but it doesn't have to be stressful. And like you said, finding
Right.
that harmony is the most important part of all of it, is going to bed at night and feeling that you're enough and that
Yes.
regardless of what today looked like, and regardless of who threw up where and what got cleaned up and what didn't,
Right.
like I
Right.
made it through the day and everyone's
Yes.
still alive. And like just get okay
Yes.
with that.
Right.
Um, like some days it feels like that, doesn't it? Like,
Hmm.
you know what? We
Hmm.
all survived. Everybody ate. I'm not really sure if we have clean clothes tomorrow, but
But
we
we'll
figured it
check
out.
on that tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We'll check on that tomorrow. Absolutely. And you said something else that is just so important. And you talked about being enough. And and for moms out there, here's an exercise for you that really, when you sit in it, it can actually, be overflowing for you, because as moms, there's so many days that we can potentially feel like we're not enough. And so on those days when you feel like you're not enough, I want you to sit in it for, for 5 minutes, for 3 minutes, and just sit in a space, if you can, by yourself, and just say to yourself, Shelly, you are enough. It doesn't matter if the kids have clean clothes or dirty clothes. You are enough. It doesn't matter if you ate 3 candy bars today and you shouldn't have, or if you had a great solid meal. You are enough. It doesn't matter, Shelly, if you gained 2 pounds, if you gained 5 pounds, if the dress didn't fit the way you wanted to. It doesn't establish who you are, because, Shelly, you are enough. When you're able to just sit in that for, if you can do it for 2 minutes, if you can do it for 3 minutes, and just allow you to love you from a point of no judgment, there's an overflow of acceptance that happens with that. You may even find yourself tearing up because you're recognizing and realizing that I don't have to do anything to be enough. My very existence is all.
Mhm.
And that is an exercise that I encourage my moms to do. If you have to do it every day for a week because life is rough, try it. Make it a habit. Do it once a month. Do it once every couple of months, and remind yourself, because these thoughts, these forces, all of this is all around us all day. Oh, you want to do something for yourself? Oh, that's selfish. Oh, you have goals that you want to pursue? Oh, how could you? We have to pick and choose. I either get to be a good mom and put all of my everything on the back burner and never love myself. That's a good mom. Or I could be a horribly selfish mom and just be terrible and actually put me and my needs first sometimes. You terrible woman, you. And what
Yep.
I'm here to say is, there's never a either or. We can always be a mom, and that's something that, if your listeners don't walk away with anything else, please walk away knowing that there's no such thing as either or. I don't have to be a career woman or a mom. I don't have to do either fulfill my goals or be a mother. No, I'm always a mother and it's up to you what comes after that and.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, this was wonderful. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we end our podcast?
I just want your listeners to know again, you are enough and you can do this. Even on the days you feel that you can do this. Sometimes it's going to look a little different. I know for me, I've always wanted to be an actress. I've always loved being an actress. Being a mom, I put all those things on the back burner of what I was never going to do, what I couldn't do. And what I found out is just because the dream looks different, it doesn't mean the dream has to be denied. So, I didn't become this A-list actor that I wanted to be, but I continue to act. I act on stage and it was different now. My kids were able to come with me. They were able to do rehearsals and things with me because I wasn't on a film set, but I was on, I was able to take them to different rehearsals and things with me. And last year I had an opportunity, or the year before actually, I had an opportunity to work on my first Disney movie, which was released last year. And so my thing is, I had to end my mentality that I could either be a mom or be an actress. No, I was able to put an and behind it. And I was able to understand that sometimes the dream looks different, but it doesn't mean that the dream has to die. I had a chance to work on a wonderful project, and that was still me fulfilling a dream as an actress. What's your dream? What's your goal? What's your desire? You don't have to put a period there, just the and, a couple of dots, and keep moving.
Yep. Absolutely. Wow, Shelley, thank you so much. For any of the listeners that are interested in your services, where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me on my website, which is my name, www.shelleymechette.com, and that's SHELLEYMECHETTE.com. And we can always connect on Instagram, my name. We can connect on Facebook, which is my name, or even in my Facebook group, which is Moms with Purpose. And so we can connect anywhere there.
Excellent. And all of that will also be listed in the bio of the episode.
Yes,
Wow, Shelley,
awesome.
thank you so much. It was so wonderful to connect, and that was such a wonderful conversation. You had so much insight.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I would love for your viewers to be able to take advantage of my free gift, which is Beyond Motherhood. And so I would love for them to go ahead and take advantage of that too, because moms, we dream too. And I want you to make sure that you always have an opportunity to fulfill your goals while being an amazing, amazing mom.
Wow, thank you so much, Shelley.
Thank you. Take care.